Yo, it's time to step into the business bubble.
Bro, pop your bubble. Pop your bubble.
Finally.
Bust your bubble.
So thirsty.
Yeah, man. Hey, I have a cheers with you, man.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Do you cheers every single person?
No, I was just pulling your leg, man. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, bro. Thanks for coming on, Bishara, man.
Thanks, mate. Free bubble tea.
Thanks.
Shit.
Yeah, man. Is it worth it? 100%, man. Absolutely. Anything that's free tastes better, right? Yeah, exactly. Do you usually drink do you drink bubble tea on a... I know you...
What do you think, bro? I literally ordered tea,
That's the whitest
sugar.
shit I've ever seen ever, man.
I used to, during high school, I used to love the shit out of it. I used to drink it like constantly, but now I'm just like, mate, it's just sugar. It's artificial.
Energy drinks? Coffee?
Yeah, so, okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Guilty. I'll have at least 2 Red Bulls during the day.
No!
My body is a temple, but Red Bulls are excluded from
Not mother?
No. Just Red Bull sugar-free.
Have you tried Prime? No? Okay. I wouldn't even try
Have
it.
you?
No. I did a little video on Prime, chucked it up on the TikTok one, blew up. Because all the kids that use TikTok, they love Prime for some reason. They love KSI, they love Logan Paul.
Yeah.
So that kind of like went viral.
Yeah.
And they're all like bashing at it. Like, oh, you're an idiot. You don't know Prime is the best, it's not actually dead. I was actually
what
saying...
was your video about?
It was about how Prime, the hype behind Prime was so minimal and it's dead now. And the product is dead.
Is it though?
I mean, now I'm kind of seeing that maybe it's hit my reticular activating system, right? Where now every time that I hear it and it's mentioned, I'm like, shit, maybe I did make a mistake. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you listen to this podcast and you go, I hate Nathan because he said that about Prime, I am sorry. I take that back. They are doing really well. Whatever.
Bro, you remind me of literally what we were just speaking about, which is once you have fame, you can sell anything. Like, and that's all that Prime was. It was the brand associated with those two people. Yeah. And regardless of the quality of the product, I've never tried it.
Yeah.
You probably talked shit about it. But regardless of the quality of the product, people buy it because they've got a relationship with that person through social media. Correct. And that's why at least I'm trying to do it. It's because, I want to get to that level where people feel as though they have that relationship with me. Yeah.
And you know what? They never probably ever met you, but they've spent hours and hours and hours. Man, marketing in and out, man. You understand how it works, right?
Well, I'm at least from a social media front, not really. Like I'm new to this game. Like I've been doing it for around 6 months and I really don't do that much. But from a user experience standpoint, pay-per-click marketing, I've been doing it for years. But, I watch the shit out of Grant Cardone, for example.
You love him.
Oh, bro, I love him.
I stalked your Twitter, bro. Every second post was Grant Cardone, man. Freaking hell. I was like, this guy.
So, and that's a perfect example of someone that I feel like if I meet, I know him. Like, I'll be the biggest fanboy. Like, I know all this shit. I've watched everything since day one, and he's helped me grow. And so that I want to be like that for someone else, hopefully one day.
Yeah. Have you seen the interview with him? No, he did a podcast with Jordan Belfort.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
I loved that one.
Who won?
Bro, okay, listen. All right. Everyone says and everyone thinks that Jordan Belfort won, right? But when I was watching it, I was like, fuck yeah, Grant is just trolling the shit out of this guy. Because Grant hates him.
Oh, really?
Grant hates him. He's said it multiple times. He's like, don't try and scare more people. And here's the other thing I hate about Jordan Belfort. Jordan Belfort's actually blocked me on one of the social media platforms. Because after that video, I messaged him, be like, fuck you. Like, you fucking suck. Like, yeah, Grant Cardone, the best, you suck. And he replied back, lol, and then blocked me, right? But people idolize Jordan Belfort. Why would you listen to someone that's negative 300 mil net worth? That's the starting point. Okay? You're a scammer. You went to jail. You did pump and dumps. Yes, it was romanticized in the movie. Great movie. I love the movie. Who doesn't?
You're going to get me started, man.
but bottom line is, he's a scammer.
Yeah.
And Grant Cardone went on, and all he did was troll the guy. He didn't agree with anything.
He didn't agree,
with anything. Like if Jordan would be like, the sky's blue, Grant would be like, no, the sky's not blue, bro. Like everything, So
Jordan
that's my thoughts.
Ethical selling, and then Grant goes, no, we keep selling and we keep asking the sale, even though they don't want it, because even if they don't want it, they're already in it.
that he was, what he was talking about, he goes, not interested is a level of interest, right? That's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
But you know what? The point he's trying to make there, at least, I'm not a spokesperson for Grant Cardone by any means, but the point he's trying to make there is everyone can be sold something.
Yeah.
Right? Don't get in your head that someone can't be sold something. If someone says they're not interested, that means the product that you're offering is not right for them. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't have other products you offer. So it's about sort of just like expanding, it's all about 10x. It's all about 10x the energy. Don't allow the naysayers or people that reject you to get in the way of you constantly pursuing and trying. But that being said, I think everything Grant was saying was not necessarily exactly what he believes.
Yes.
It's more so him just trolling Jordan. That's honestly what I think he was doing, bro.
That's actually an interesting take, because I watched it and I'm going, no, I really think that he's being belittled right now by Jordan Belfort. But no, if he's going to troll, I'm going to rewatch it again and I'm going to look at it from those lens. Hey,
he hijacked it, bro. He hijacked it. Like, watch it again. Watch it again. And he's just like, the contempt he has for Jordan is apparent throughout the entire, from the get-go. Both
of them are so arrogant, though. When you look at them, they're like sitting next to each other. And the way that, oh, man, that is...
Bro, don't talk shit about Grant Cardone.
Yeah. Hey, what would you say to him if you met him?
I mean, like,
actually, no, you know what? When you meet him, what would you say to him first?
I've actually had a dream about this.
That's cute, man. That's so cute.
No, I don't get cancelled.
Don't get cancelled, man.
What I tell him is this. The night before I started my business in 2015, I was 21 years old, and I'm freaking out the night before I start my business, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't have a script. I don't have any of that, and I'm freaking out in bed at like 11 o'clock at night. I can't sleep, and I know in the morning, because I drew a line in the sand. I'm like, I'm starting the business tomorrow, no matter what. I'm going to the shopping center. I'm going with my leaflets. I'm putting my banner up, and I'm selling it no matter what. But I didn't have. I wasn't prepared, so I'm freaking out. I went to YouTube and I typed in cold calling videos.
Yeah.
And I watched a whole bunch of them. And I gained so much confidence off the back of that. 2 years later, I discovered Grant Cardone, and I found that the video I was watching 2 years later was the same video I watched the night before I started my business. That gave me the confidence. And so he's been there literally from day one, and that's what I'd want to say to him.
Would you say he's a role model for you?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
He's the reason why I ended up getting into property. He's the reason why I was always down to expand the business and just grow. That 10x mentality. So he's definitely a role model.
If you had dinner with three people, who would you choose then?
Okay.
Dead or alive?
Elon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dead or alive?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Jesus?
Yeah.
No. I'm like, sorry, God. Sorry. No.
God, I'm blind now.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs,
Steve Jobs.
Yep.
Maybe Walt Disney.
Oh, man.
Walt Disney would be
my
one.
guy. Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's my guy.
Yeah, well, that's actually LucasArts.
No, it's not.
Isn't that the Star Wars?
Disney. That's Walt Disney. Oh, as in like BB-8?
Yeah, you're talking about the robot,
the little Funko next to it. That's Walt Disney.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see his face. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, he's my inspiration.
You know he's frozen, yeah?
You reckon he's frozen?
Isn't that a fact?
I thought it was a rumor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they said that it's frozen on the ground, and then maybe I'm bringing it back up.
Heard it here first. It's a fact.
Well, if they're going to bring him back alive, now's the year. Disney 100. Now's the year.
I don't know what that is. What's Disney?
It's the 100th year of Disney.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Yeah.
Cheers, Disney.
Cheers, Disney. I love the corporate conglomerates, man. Come on.
So who was it? It was
Elon.
Elon,
Jobs, and Disney.
Wait. Sorry, scrap Disney. Let's go Grant Cardone.
Grant Cardone.
Yeah,
that was awesome. Hey, do you think private schools are worth going to? You went to private school. I went to private school. Do you think they're worth it?
I want to homeschool my kids.
Why?
And I know everyone that's going to hear that, like, man, he's got to socialize them. And like, look, all the homeschool kids, they're so weird. Like, okay, sure, but look at their parents. Their parents are weirdos.
Yeah.
Right? That's usually why they end up weirdos, right? So I feel like, and Grant Cardone says this, I feel like the schooling system is literally just another means to babysit children. It's like the parents don't want to deal with them for the 8 hours. And they're like, go away, I'll pick you up at 3 p.m., right? And it's sort of giving the parents a break, firstly. And it's just, institutionalizing them. It's just like getting them, like you've seen the I don't know if it's a caricature or the image depicting the teacher is an axe. All the kids walk in as a log and they come out a plank on the other side. And it's cookie cuttering them. It's just making everyone the same. It's like, it's teaching all the wrong things. It doesn't teach you about money. Most people are financially illiterate, right? No one really understands how the economy works, really, how interest rates work, what good financial decisions are, how to make money. They don't teach you any of that. They don't teach you how to negotiate. They don't teach you how to ask for a raise. They don't teach you what skills you need and what are the, it's the curriculum is so old. Why would you rely on the government to develop a curriculum for you? They're so slow moving in in a day and age right now where, look at this shit, like, this is the new day and age, right? It's like podcasting, social media, AI, VR, like we're moving too quickly.
Yes.
And school doesn't keep up with that. So ideally what I'd do is I'd pick like Mark Zuckerberg, right? His dad got him private tutoring for software development all throughout high school, so that by the time he went to uni, he was already better than an expert. And look what he developed, right?
What did he?
So that's what I want to do, bro. I want to homeschool him. He's a AI expert. He's a software developer.
Nice.
Like just whatever's the hot thing, what we know is going to trend over the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Focus in on that. Obviously, the basics are the basics, but I don't think. Obviously, I'd rather. Well, I don't know any other way than private. I've only been to private school in my life, right?
Yeah.
But fuck all that shit. I'd
if I really send my kids to a private school, I'll teach them networking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like your focus is not your ATAR. Your focus is to build friendships and take advantage of the opportunities that the school provides. Cadets, music, go do all that stuff. Don't worry about your studies, man. We'll hone in on that. We'll find what you're good at and we'll work on that for you.
You know what? One regret I had for the first 5 years after leaving school is I never did any of the extracurricular activities that was offered at the school. I was just like, no, thank you, no, thank you. I didn't do any of that extra stuff. Yeah. And looking back, I'm like, shit, that would have been a good experience. So if there's anyone listening that's still at school, sign up, bro. You'll regret it for the rest of your life.
Do whatever. Don't worry about your ATAR. Uni will come and go. It doesn't matter. You don't even need a uni degree. You went to uni Canberra, right?
No. I really cared about my ATAR.
You really cared for it?
Like I studied non-stop.
You got a sick ATAR apparently. I found it somewhere online.
Yeah. it was probably on my LinkedIn.
Did you?
I broadcast it. I was like, this is right. But I ended up at UNSW studying commerce for one semester. Yeah. I failed 3 out of the 4 subjects.
Nice.
And I was like, fuck this shit. There's no way I would have been able to complete another 3 or 4 years of studying.
I should have done that, man.
Did you get a degree?
I flunked 3 out of 4. I finished with a degree, but I flunked 3 out of 4 in the first semester because I was at the gym the whole time.
Where'd all the muscle go?
I was so fat, bro. I was so fat.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I thought, you know what? Nah, I don't want this. So 5 days in the week, and then I was just like at the gym.
Yeah.
And then my dad said to me, "Hey, what are you doing? You flunked 3 out of 4 subjects. You're at the gym the whole time. You get a job. Go get a job. He said, work part-time, go finish your degree, and then we'll go from there." Asians, man. My grandpa would not let me go if I didn't get that plaque on his wall.
What did you graduate with?
Macquarie. What did I graduate with? Marketing and international biz.
Okay, gotcha.
Not that marketing back then, that means nothing compared to marketing now.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing with school. It's so old and slow moving. Right. It doesn't keep up with the times. Right. And that's my problem with the schooling system.
Exactly.
And that problem is accentuated at university because it's not even necessary. School is, right? It's illegal to not go up until year 10 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But uni is like an opt-in and everyone opts in for it. And unless it's a certification required, unless it's certification required like a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, blah, blah. Okay, fine.
Professional services.
Correct. Otherwise, mate, get stuck into it. Get a job. Like you said, get a job and learn on the run.
Yeah, get in there. Call people about their debts, right? At CBA.
I didn't know that you were at CBA as well. I love that.
I was at CBA, man. But that is such a wheel, like such a cog, right? And I mean,
it's the rat race.
It really is a rat race, and everyone's fighting over for that next one job. Oh man, I want to dive into that. But actually,
but just sorry to
go, man. Hey, this is a collab podcast, man. This is a collab podcast. You can interrupt as much as you want, man.
I actually met Matt Combs.
Oh yeah,
CEO of CBA at a Bali. In Bali, at the lounge, and I saw him, and I was like, "Sorry, is your name Matt?" And he was like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Matt Combs?" And he was like, "Yes." And I'm like, "CEO of CBA?" And he's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Pleasure to meet you in this lounge, sir." And he was like, "Thank you." And I'm like, "Would you be interested in coming on my podcast?"
Was this recent?
Literally last time I was in Bali, so a couple months ago. And he was like, "Well, not now, mate." And the conversation just died from there. So shout out to Matt Common. Sorry about that, bro.
Matt Common, you can do a podcast with Common. That's all right. Yeah.
Maybe that's the fuck.
That's right. This guy doesn't even know my name. Hell no. Again, you have a podcast, right? I remember when I first started the podcast as well, and you probably saw the same comments as well. Man, every guy and their mother's starting a podcast. What do you see as the value of podcasting?
What do I see the value of podcasting? That's a good question, bro. Look, it's a for me at least. What I found was I was struggling to come up with content and scripts and a clear message, and then say it off the cuff. That was my issue. I could, okay, let's do a video on how to start a business. And then Mike would come on and I'd be like, I'm stumped. I don't know what to say. I'm speaking straight to the camera and I'm at a loss for what to say. Okay, let me try scripting. I'm going to script something and then I'm reading the script and I sound robotic. But when I'm speaking to someone, it's just two human beings connecting, and then there's other people listening in and being a fly on the wall on that conversation. And I love speaking to people, and I'm really good at it. And so it makes it so easy. You know, I don't have to prepare for this, and it's ease of access. I can very easily share my thoughts, my perspective, and my advice to one particular person, and other people can listen in. That's what I feel is the benefit of podcasts.
It's more genuine as well. But should everyone do it?
I don't know. To each their own, you know. Like, there's another white boy with a podcast. There's like so many. There's so many. There's so many out there.
Yeah. Carl, can you dub in like a techno sound in there afterwards? Yeah. Carl's an audio guy, music producer.
The audio guy.
The audio guy.
You're the equivalent of Joe Rogan's. What's his name?
Jeff.
Is his name Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah.
But he's better looking than Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
Yeah. I was actually watching someone sent me that video again of, that scene in 22 Jump Street when I think they find out that Schmidt was sleeping with the captain's daughter.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah. And he lost it. And the timing was so good because there's a microwave sound and go tick, 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 ding, and he goes, oh shit! That's an underrated movie. That's an underrated movie. Yeah. Hey, because you do so you do podcasting by yourself, and then you also have a co-host as well sometimes. I've only ever done it by myself. What's the difference between having a co-host and then your own?
At least in my case, my sort of attitude towards business is extremely scrappy. And what I mean by that is don't plan, just action. It's all about action intelligence. Stop planning, stop thinking things through. Just take action, learn on the run, make mistakes, fall forward and keep going. Yeah. And so that's sort of my perspective. And I think there's multiple ways. There's a million ways to skin a cat. There's no one solution. And I think it's good hearing other people's perspective. And so my friend Farouk owns his own business and has a different approach in some ways and, similar in other ways, and we differ in other ways. So it's good to have diverse opinions. And I think, to be honest, I was like, mate, I don't want to just keep talking to these people alone. I'd rather someone that I can bounce ideas off, like, hey, how do you find that? I can't tell that to the guests, but if someone's sort of in on it with me and sort of just co-hosting with me, and it's like, I don't know, it's like diversity, otherwise they'll get bored of me.
Yeah.
Only someone can only look at me for so long before they start being like disgusted. You know what I mean?
I'm sure that's why people are unsubscribing from me already right now. They're like, oh, sick of that Asian guy. Sick of that Asian guy. There's enough Asians already in Australia already. Send them back to China. Yeah, that's damn straight. Damn straight. All my mainland friends, go home. I can do that, man. You can. Hey, I was born in Greenacre, so I can, I'm like half Leb as well,
Oh, yeah.
so I can kind of.
That's not how it works.
No. Damn it. Were you born in Hurstville? You can do. I'll give you a.
Westmead, baby.
Westmead, right? Hey, the art of conversation today is pretty messed up. People are texting these days. And, just through podcasting yourself, what have you learned in the last 6 months of podcasting about conversation and connecting with people?
Mate, you ask good questions.
I don't know, man.
Bro. What have I learned in the last 6 months as it relates to communication? You've stumped me there. I think.
What was episode 1 like compared to what episode 20 that you're on now?
All right. So I was a lot more nervous to begin with.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But confidence builds up over time. In anything you do, practice makes perfection. So I think as time has gone on, I've got a lot more comfortable with speaking to people in this setting with cameras pointing at you. Like, it's a very awkward scenario. Like, I got a microphone, I'm hearing myself through my, it's a bit weird, right? But you get used to it. You overcome that initial sort of hesitation or sort of, a fight or flight sort of response, and it becomes your comfort zone. So that's happened. I don't know if I learned that. It was more sort of like instinctual and it's just become a part of me. You build confidence, full stop.
That is true.
You can definitely notice when guests are nervous, but I think one thing I'm good at, and you're the same, you make people feel comfortable.
Sure.
It's very easy to make people feel comfortable, get them on your side, make sure that you're there, at least from a customer's perspective, you're there to help. And once they know that you're there to help, they're a lot more likely to lower their barriers or drop their walls and become more authentic. And so that's a very important part of podcasting. At least it's like getting people in a zone where they feel like they can open up and really speak genuinely, as opposed to being buckling a little bit.
So obviously, with the people, then there's a lot of people these days probably listening to this podcast as well. They're like, "There's no way in hell that I'm going to start a podcast." But what kind of advice would you share with them? In terms of communication. Then if you're an introvert or if you're not someone that can make someone feel comfortable on the spot. How would they kind of build those relationships? How would they, have conversations with people? How did your bosses, when CBA, when you're in debt collecting, how would they educate the people who are not really good phone people, talking about those tough conversations as well? Yeah,
well, in the instance of CBA, it's like scripts, processes, QA, drilling it into them. It's it's more methodical. It's like it's literally just you're a cog in the machine. They can take someone that's really nervous speaking to people or on the phones, doesn't have any customer experience, and they can transform you because they're so massive and they've got all the processes and they know what to do, right?
Yeah.
But in the case of people wanting to start a podcast, the first question is why?
Yeah.
Why are you starting it? Understand your why, because when your why is big enough, you can do anything you want. And it doesn't matter if you're an introvert or an extrovert. There's, some of the greatest people, most successful people were introverts, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not from a social media standpoint, but you don't necessarily need to be an extrovert to record a video, right? What is, and I hate those titles, introvert, extrovert, right? What is an introvert? Tell me. Someone that doesn't like speaking to people, right? Or that's one definition, right?
The thing is, we all have introverted times, right?
The point I was trying to make is, this is kind of the wrong planet to be on if you want to be an introvert. There's people everywhere. Right? Why are you labeling yourself, right?
Yeah.
Just get better at communicating with people and be more outgoing and be more because what do you have to do to succeed? It's not what you know, it's who you know, right? That's the ongoing saying. So, put yourself out there. So I'd encourage anyone that's feeling a bit nervous, feeling a bit, is a bit of a recluse and doesn't want to sort of put themselves out there. Ask yourself, why not? Gone are the days where it's like, don't toot your own horn, fly under the radar, be seen but not heard. All these sayings is what worked in the past.
Yes.
But now it's about tweets and likes and reshares and social media, and we're in a new age. So catch up.
Do you think that labels are a lazy person's excuse for not really looking deep inside?
I think labels can be used for that reason.
Yeah.
Yes. I think you could be like, yeah, I'm I don't follow through anything till the end. Okay, well, mate, you're not going to follow. If there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do no harm. The person that thinks they can or the person that thinks they can't, they're both right. Right? So it's just like whatever you put your mind to, you can achieve. So if you're letting that hold you back, well, then it's going to hold you back, full stop.
What do you eat? Or what do you eat mentally? Like, what's your brain food to maintain that kind of mentality that, hey, you know what? The only thing that's stopping you is really yourself.
I'm literally going to pull up my social media and show you. Every single morning I wake up, and the first thing I type in is, look at this search. There's one black motivation guy. I type that in. Grant Cardone motivation. Every morning, as soon as I wake up, I type in motivation. If I'm feeling down, if I'm feeling, let's say it's lonely, motivation for when feeling lonely. If I'm feeling a bit, I feel like I'm going to quit, or I feel like I'm on the edge of losing or failing, motivation for when you feel like losing. And that's literally how I open my eyes. Like, I open my eyes, I roll to the side of my bed. I know this is probably not scientifically,
it's
everyone's like, don't look at your phone for the first hour. Well, shit. Put it in my eyeball. So I look up videos like that as soon as I wake up, and it gets me in the right headspace. It's like positive affirmations, and I've been doing that for many years.
Yeah. And eventually it kind of like just gets ironed into your head, right? And then it kind of becomes you.
Correct.
Do you surround yourself with friends that are kind of in that headspace as well?
Yeah.
Or do you like separate, like, are my friends like this?
No. Because it's like, at least in my case, it's all I think about. It's all I want to talk about. It's business for me. It's my passion. I love it. Like, it reminds me of this story. I was once, we were having popcorn. Me and a friend, we're close, and we're still friends to this day, and other people that we're not really that close with, but we're there at the time. Yeah. And we're eating the popcorn, and everyone's enjoying the popcorn, and me and my mate are analyzing how much the popcorn packet would cost to make and how much the profit would be on the popcorn. And they're like, can't you guys just enjoy the popcorn? And we're like, we're enjoying it. Like, so I need to surround myself with people that are pushing for more, want to achieve more, and you are the average of who you surround yourself with at the end of the day, right? Like, that's a common saying, but it's so true. If you've got a mate that's smoking weed, just playing games all day, doing jack shit, you're going to be influenced by that. So yeah, be careful with who you're friends with, who you give your time to.
Do you think that your conversations, the art of conversation that you've learned through podcasting, has that helped you with Fundo? With dealing with clients, with building new relationships and stuff like that?
Other way around. So my ability to communicate with people has helped me with the podcast, right? So I've had that skill for many years. I actually learned that skill as a debt collector at CBA. What is debt collection? It's the worst form of selling. It's selling to someone that most definitely doesn't want to speak to you, and you have no product to offer them.
Is it fear-based?
You attract more bees with honey, right? So you want them to be your friend. Like I said earlier, it was like you want them to feel like you're on their side, right? And so that's about rapport building. That's about emotional intelligence. And so that's one of the best things I took away from CBA. It was how to build rapport with people. How to let them know that you're there to help and not to harm. Because you are, at the end of the day. If someone's behind on their bills, it's going to affect them long term if it gets to a default level and, it affects their credit history. That's a lot worse. That's 7 years you can't borrow or, you can't do any of that. So once they recognize you're on their side, that's the hard part. How do you get them to be on your side? Then it became, for me, just like I became a ninja on the phones. I became really good at it. And then, that translated into how I treat with my customers. It's that personal relationship with each and every customer. And that is imbued within all my staff. And then, podcast is just like, it's just chatting. So, that's something I've always been good at.
Can you develop your EQ? Do you think you can develop it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah?
Yeah. My EQ was entirely developed debt collecting. I highly recommend anyone out there that's feeling a bit introverted or, doesn't feel like they're good at speaking with people, get a phone call job. Get a job where all you're doing is calling people. Don't work in a branch.
Yeah.
I'd recommend. I know you've worked in a branch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend get in the head office.
Yeah.
I feel like, and you'd actually know more about this than me, but I feel like there's a cap when you're at a branch, whilst at a head office you can go all the way to CEO. There's no cap. At the end of the day, it gets to branch manager, and that's it. You're branch manager, right? Whilst at head office, there's no limit to what you can accomplish. But most importantly, it's a call center environment. You're on the phone. You're drilling it. Yes, it's soul sucking. I loved it till I hated it, and then I once I hated it, I was call avoiding, and I almost got fired 3 times at CBA for call avoiding. Like, so they pulled up this call log, and they're like, Bishara, there's instances we found where you call avoiding. And I'm like, look, I go through my calls so fast, and because I'm so quick, sometimes I'll accidentally click it, hang up. And they're like, oh, okay. And they pulled up this call recording,
shit like that too.
And it records my screen, right? They've got a screen that records, and someone goes, hello, and I hang up and I go, not bothered, right? And they can hear me say it. And so I give them all the defenses I can on that one call. Like, I'm like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. I give them all the explanation. And they're like, oh, okay, thank you. And they pull up this other file with like 30 more instances of it. But they never fired me. So yeah, do it for a little bit and then duck and weave, move, get out.
Yeah.
If you want to start a business at least, unless you want to go down the corporate rat race.
That's so micromanagey though. I hate it.
It's necessary.
Yeah?
It's necessary, yeah. Like, put it this way. If you're on a surgery table,
sure,
right? You're doing open heart surgery. Do you want the lead surgeon to be micromanaging you?
Me, or as in like...
Yeah. Like your body. You're right there.
Yeah.
You do, right?
Everything, man.
Correct.
Do everything you need.
Correct.
Yeah.
Micromanage the shit out of me. Why? Because it's so important, right? Mm-hmm. And the same thing is true in a business. The business has all these vitals and, different indicators that need to be managed and tracked, and someone has to stay on top of it. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason why CBA is where they are. They make 10 billion literally a year net profit. It's because of that. Yes, micromanaging is not a good thing. It starts affecting morale and culture. But all they were doing is holding someone accountable, mm-hmm. right? That's all it was. It was and you know what, bro? I was a cancer. If you're hanging up calls and you're brazen about it, mm-hmm. you're not good for culture.
Yeah.
Because a new guy jumps in or a new girl jumps in, sees that sort of culture, and then it spreads.
Yeah.
So
Do you think that the next generation that's coming up, when you start hiring people, actually, what demographic, or what generational kind of demographic do you have for Fundo?
It's all ages from 18 to 45. It's a pretty even split.
Yeah?
Yeah, across that whole age group.
What do you find is the differences between the different generations?
We haven't done demographic analysis to an in-depth level.
Yeah.
But
just from your personal insight.
Yeah, look, what I'd say is the newer generation are more tech savvy, obviously. Mm-hmm. And so they're more likely to go and lean towards those that have the best user experience, because they recognize what a good user experience is, mm-hmm. whilst the older generation might not care so much about the bells and whistles and just want to fill out the form and move on, right? Mm-hmm. Whilst the younger generation are like, hey, what else can I do in this? Like, how can I get engaged? How can I spend more time in this website because it's engaging me? Like, mm-hmm. What's the user? Is there a gamification aspect? Like, am I getting a dopamine hit when I'm doing a certain functionality within the dashboard? Mm. The older generation might not, and again, I'm just talking out of my ass. Like, it just makes sense. Older people, they care less. Mm-hmm. Newer people, they're used to a better, higher quality of product. Mm-hmm. So their expectations are higher. So that's probably one difference. Yeah.
What's your client skew like then, in terms of the people that, come to Fundo?
Everyday Australian, bro. So hardworking, everyday Australians that are employed. That's literally who we deal with. That's our primary customer base. Every single person's employed. Yeah. Working 9 to 5. The majority of customers are living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. Most Australians are living paycheck to paycheck. And I think there's a lot of financial literacy out there where people get stuck in a situation they shouldn't be in, and that's the problem we solve, right? It's ease of access, speed at which they can get access to capital quickly, because they didn't have the ability to forecast it or plan it or budget, and they weren't earning enough. And so, everyone, you look at America, for example. There's studies where the overwhelming majority of Americans can't afford a medical bill if it comes their way, if it's $500. Like, it'll send them broke.
Yeah.
That's sad, right?
It's really sad.
And if financial literacy was taught more at school, maybe they'd recognize that you got to earn money. You got to earn a lot of money. Don't do what you love. Don't pursue what you love. That's the common thing, right? Pursue what you love and the money will follow. Well, will it? Really? Will it actually follow? Because it doesn't even keep up with inflation. Wages don't even keep up with inflation, okay? So what are you talking about? What, you want me to just scrape away with like 50K and I've got to take care of kids and blah, blah, blah? No, your number one goal should be earning more money, and most people don't recognize that, so they get caught in life, and bills come up, and that's the problem we solve. We help them short term. But we're trying to actually build out now a financial wellness journey so that we can actually help them long term as well, through budgeting, through the academy that I was talking to you off camera, which is, teaching financial fitness.
And at this moment as well, do you find that after COVID, it's kind of seeing this trend where people are like, hey, you know what, I really need this assistance now? I would say, if anything, in a very ethical way, business is quite busy for you right now, right?
There's such a huge demand for my service that for us, it's always been about internal operational. Like, we can only deal with as much as we can deal with.
Right.
There's no shortage of customers.
Yes.
Right. I guess that's the point I'm getting at. It's like there's never been a shortage of customers for us. It's like a tap. Increase marketing, you'll get more customers. Decrease, you get less. So it's what we can actually deal with from an operational standpoint. Can we get through the apps fast enough?
Yep.
But what we found during COVID, which was extremely interesting, is everyone had so much more money, because no one was spending it.
Yes.
Plus, everyone was rorting the government.
Right.
Like, the amount of people that were like double dipping, still working whilst receiving Centrelink, job seeker, job keeper. Like, everyone. And I tweeted like, if you're celebrating receiving Centrelink, you need to aim higher. Yeah. Right? Like, aim higher. Mate. Like, don't celebrate that. Like,
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of people that
don't post, bro. Such a
there's a lot of people taking advantage of the government, all the what's the word for it?
The incentives, the giveaways, basically.
Keep going. It's not the right word.
What is it?
Welfare, whatever it is. Taking advantage of that. But what the interesting fact, sorry to get sidetracked.
No, go.
The interesting fact we found was, despite them having more money, despite them having less bills, their habits didn't change. I.e., they were still interested in taking out loans with us. They were still spending online. And, that's one thing we noticed. So our business actually grew through COVID, surprisingly, despite the stimulus, which is the word I was looking for.
Right.
Despite the stimulus.
Yep.
Our product never stopped. I'm sure due to inflation, cost of living, that will continue. We're trying to actually expand now to Texas. So we actually just got our license for Texas.
Wow.
So the game plan, I actually want to move there. That's the game plan. So not moving there for moving their's sake. I want to start a business and then set up a base there at the same time.
Yeah. So
I'm literally going to take the exact same product here and do it in Texas.
Isn't it? If you set up your business in Texas, isn't that better for tax as well? From this side? Don't get yourself searched right now.
No, it's fine. Pleasure speaking about taxes.
All right, let's go. This is the first I've seen a tax.
No. So,
my tax return this year was a bitch. How many friends made 7K last year back on their tax return and paying 3K this year? So many of my mates.
Everyone told me there's zero taxes in Texas, and I'm like, okay, great, I'm going to go there. But that's state tax. There is still a federal tax rate across the board of 21% for the businesses. Here it's 25% or thereabouts. I can't remember. So really, it's not that big of a difference. It's a 4% difference, but there's other costs that you're not aware. There's VAT, there's renewals, and so you don't do it for the tax purposes,
right?
And I was actually looking into it. I'm like, how do I minimize my tax? And it's like, you could try finding a country that has zero tax and set up the business there. But the reality is, unless you leave Australia, actually, you can't fake it. You can't, unless you become a non-tax resident of Australia, it doesn't matter what the other country does. Because even if you're in Dubai, and you're making money in Dubai, unless you're a non-tax resident of Australia, whatever you make in Dubai, Australia's going to tax you.
Right.
So, it's more complicated than that. But at least in America's case, there's no tax benefit.
Are you a big fan of America?
Yeah. I watch all the politics. I'm in tune with like all the elections.
Till now, you still
constantly.
What do you think of Vivek?
Ramaswamy?
Yeah.
I love him.
I love him too, right?
He's so good. He's so good.
He's got great vision for it. And his policies are pretty damn good.
He said something once which really resonated with me. You find most politicians, what they do is they say as little as they can because they don't want to ever walk back their claims or be caught out on some shit, right?
Yes.
But what he does is he's so opinionated and he'll give his opinion point blank. And sometimes it's shocking. Like he'll be like, yeah, I want to remove 75% of all staff within, the IRS and the healthcare system and
Get
yada
rid of the
yada.
State government, everyone.
He says so much stuff, and he literally said this. He goes, "I'm going to be so open and transparent, and the downside to that is I will eventually have to walk back a couple things because my opinion might change or I might have gotten something wrong, but I think that's worth it." To be an open book and people know who I truly am. And so I love hearing, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
He's a breath of fresh air. So I do like him. I also liked JFK Jr.
Oh, yeah.
I liked him. I was a big Bernie bro for a while. But my favorite, last but not least, Trump, baby.
Oh, I think I'm like 3 guys in my podcast like that love Trump.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's going to win again.
I love Trump. He's such a great guy.
It's great. It's perfect.
Hey, you do
I don't know, man.
You do a good impression.
No, I got another guy. He does a really, really solid one.
I don't know, bro. He's just so fun. Forget his politics. His
Talk show as well. They love his stuff, man.
He's the best.
Yeah. Well, I've stopped tuning into a lot of the talk shows because, there's no Trump news.
Yeah.
The Biden news is just sad. He's just an old guy now.
It's sad.
It's really sad.
It's definitely sad. Yeah.
It's like not even entertainment.
You look at you see your grandfather and you're like, what is he doing up there? Like,
he's like fumbling over his words, and I'm sure like someone's writing a script and I'm like, oh man, it's not fun. I feel for him, man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, it's like the lesser.
But you know what's really sad? That he even got into office. And that's the sad thing about the corruption in the US. It's evident in the US a lot more than it is here. It exists here, no doubt. There's lobbyists here.
Yeah.
Lobbying exists.
Yeah.
What is lobbying? Lobbying is paying a private company to influence the government in some way or another. In America, it's extremely blatant, right? It's so blatant. It's so much more prevalent to the point where there's no real difference between the Dems and the Republicans unless it's social issues, right? But from a fiscal standpoint, they're pretty aligned. Tax the poor and give all the cuts to the rich. That's pretty much how it works there.
It really is. One thing I learned about Vivek, and if you kind of break down the way that he's approached his campaign, is that he's not here to appeal to the masses. And I think that's something that you do really well with Fundo as well. You don't appeal to the masses. You're not out there you're like, hey, this is my niche, right? And I'm going to do really, really well in it. And what that's going to do is going to make your niche, that little market, go, hey, what they're doing at Fundo is really good. So then people start hearing about it. People start hearing about it, and they want to join on this journey as well around it. It kind of comes back down to Seth Godin, the marketing guru. Yeah, kind of like his principle: focus on that niche, work really hard on it, and really turn that into your raving fan base. And then from there, you'll start to because if you go straight to the middle, go for the mass, you're not going to really find someone. And I said this one time with another friend on this podcast. I said, whatever people's opinions are about the trans community or the LGBT, one thing they did really well was that they all came together and communicated one message, and they made it really loud, and punch through everything, media, everything like that.
Yeah. So, I don't know about the LGBTQ stuff, but I'm like, yeah, really good marketing, guys.
Great marketing.
Great marketing. yeah. I want to hire the social media manager. And look, I take issue with it because it's not one community. There is no community, right? Lesbians are not the same as gays. Gays are not the same as trans. They're not all bundled together and they're like walking with it's just
see the wizard.
It's just outspoken individuals, really outspoken individuals. Sure,
good point.
Hats off
good
to
point.
you
I'll give
guys,
that to you,
it's not one community, right? But just to go back to get off
go on the marketing side. Go on the marketing side. Yeah.
Yes, start with a niche, and then use it as a stepping stone into the next thing. So for me, I started a rental business initially, right? It was phones, TVs, washing machines. You pay a weekly amount for a year. At the end of the year, it's yours to keep. So I started with that. Why? Because I didn't have tech, I didn't have staff, I didn't have software, I didn't have a website. So, but I could go to Harvey Norman and buy a fridge and give it to the customer and set them up on direct debit. That was pretty basic. That's how I started. That was my niche, right? And then I started making money. I got it to about like $80K a month in recurring revenue. And then I was like, okay, now I can actually spend a bit of money on a software developer. So I started doing a beautiful website, blah, blah, blah. Then I said, okay, I'm going to pivot. I'm going to start giving out loans up to $2,000, right? And so average loan size back then was like $300, right? I was giving out $300 at a time, automated. Business grew to around like 2 million, 3 million in revenue. And then I kept stepping up, went 600 average, 700 average. Then I increased my loan size to $5,000. So yes, I started in a niche, but then the stepping stones led me to a point where now it's like turning over 20 million a year. And it all started from that one initial niche, that focusing on that one thing, owning, creating those personal relationships with each customer, and then expanding as you go along.
It's cool because sometimes people come into a business and they go, this is what I'm going to do and there's nothing else. But you're like, hey, I started with this and then I slowly shifted it and eventually now it's become what it is today, right? And I think that's a kind of a good lesson for a lot of people as well, because I think I have to come up with that brilliant idea. It doesn't really have to be a brilliant idea.
Yeah, there's a great book about it. It's called The Lean Startup. Have you read it?
Ah, yes, that one. The blue collar one, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It's all about when, if you want to build a Lamborghini, build a skateboard and ride the skateboard. And then you'll learn how the skateboard works. And then you'll be like, hey, you know what? I need handlebars. Okay. Upgrade to a scooter. And then you ride the scooter a little bit and you're like, hey, you know what would work even better? Let's put an engine on it. And now it's an electric scooter. And then it becomes a bicycle. And then you slowly start stepping stones up to that Lambo. But don't set out to build the Lambo initially because you end up executing something you know nothing about.
Minimum viable product.
MVP, baby. That's
right.
That's
exactly right. Yeah.
That's
Shout out to your podcast.
MVP podcast.
Very good. So would you say that CBA or banks now are like your competitors?
Nah.
No.
The only competitor is me.
Ooh.
Right, I'm only competing against myself. It's like I got blinkers on. I'm not looking at others and being like, oh, I want to be more like them. It's no, I want to be better than how I was yesterday. That's all I'm competing with. I'm just competing with myself. And, that's just a mentality thing. And the reality is banks don't fuck with our space. They just don't touch our space.
Yeah. For how easy the loan is, the banks need everything, man.
Yeah.
I mean, mortgages, everything.
Well, you know what? We request more information for a loan up to $2,000 than a mortgage.
No way.
More information, more detailed, more tech savvy. Banks are slow moving, arduous dinosaurs, right? They're actually just they're just so big and too big to fail, and it's secured and it's just easy you can't lose money. I was reading the Afterpay book and it was like they make a 30% return on any home loan they give out per annum based on the way they leverage their deposit to lending ratios that they have to keep for an ADI, deposit taking institution. Like they actually make 30% on every dollar that they lend out, something like that, based on, you know, the capital requirements that they have to keep. So they don't really give a shit about being tech savvy. There was a study done that found the only time a bank innovates is for survival. They never innovate to just like accelerate technology. They only do it to survive. Like, for example, during COVID, mate, they were still requiring wet signatures until COVID. You know, it was like a really manual process. And then COVID hit and they're like, okay, fine, we'll move to e-sign, right?
There's still banks out there that are still requiring wet signatures now.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So they're slow. They're very slow. I'd love for them to compete with me.
I don't think they have a chance,
luck.
man. Not for the amount that you were doing, right? Actually, just out of curiosity, because we're in the same field, what are the main docs that you guys need? Obviously, you need your assets, liabilities, loans. Do you need, like, what kind of background checks do you need?
We don't do any of that stuff that you just mentioned.
Oh, you really?
No, primarily bank statement analysis. So that's really where we hone in on.
Right. So if I'm on my internet banking, where do I find that?
You don't find it there. No,
Okay.
We use third-party data aggregation tools that extract, analyze, and categorize your bank statement. So we'll pull your bank statement data and we'll analyze and categorize your income, your expenses, your expenditure, your behavior.
Yeah.
What are you doing with your money when you get paid?
Yeah.
You're pulling it out of an ATM at a casino? Well, you know, you're probably a gambler, right? Well, we're not going to approve you. You're high risk, right? So that's the sort of analysis we do on top of the traditional stuff, which is credit checks, PEPs and sanctions, KYC, you know, all the stock standard shit.
Yeah.
But it's all about credit decisioning, data science.
Yeah.
We use a lot of data science, which is, you know, probably the only thing I'm really passionate about in my business right now. It's like the data side, you know, the way you can implement machine learning models to predict and analyze behavior. It's amazing. There's a quote, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Einstein or someone. He was like, new technology is indistinguishable from magic. And that's what I feel AI is like. It's like fucking magic, bro. It's like, holy shit. How can you do that? How can you predict that? And it's because there's just so much data that they can analyze. Like when we analyze shit, there's only so much we can analyze. It'll be a piece of paper. Imagine a machine and the number of data points it can analyze. And not just this one, all the hundreds of millions it's previously analyzed.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's crazy what it can do now.
Does your data tell you how people value money?
What do you mean?
Does your data show you how people spend?
Yeah.
How they value, how they see money? Is there a kind of trend that you see with certain people, or there's maybe predominantly this age group, they value money in different ways, or they see money as like a commodity, or more so like something that's like in and out?
Yeah. Look, spending habits, right? Spending habits is different. So, you know, when Afterpay came around, we saw this massive influx on all bank statements of people just loving Afterpay, bro.
Yeah.
Like everyone was just, you know, living off credit now.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It's just credit.
But the previous gen, they didn't do that. They're like, no, we pay off our bills. We don't
It was
get
credit cards.
Yeah.
It was credit cards. Our generation was scared of credit cards.
Our generation's very scared of credit cards.
Right? For right reasons. You know, when I was at CBA debt collecting on credit cards, it was sad, bro. It was like people, I don't know how they put themselves in a position where they've got this 30K, not how they put themselves in the position, how the bank allowed them to be put in that position.
Yeah.
Because they've got this 30K debt, right, via credit card. Yeah. They're paying, you know, whatever it is a week. Yeah. And they're not even chipping away at the balance. They're forever in debt.
Yeah.
They can't afford it. Unless they double their salary, they can't afford paying 30 grand.
No way.
Plus the interest on a credit card. So
and they might have two as well.
Bro. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we're scared of credit cards because they're wrong. And Afterpay was the solution and the backlash to the credit card problem. at least within the younger generations, and it overtook. So, spending habits change over time, and new tech facilitates that. There's now the wage advance products, there's now the afterpays, there's a million and one, there's a litany of those afterpay, buy now, pay later product types.
It's like this cycle though, right? It's this cycle. So you get a credit card. Awesome, cool. Now you have afterpay to pay, or you have different things to pay. There's going to be something else coming after afterpay, man. I don't think it's going to be the be all and end all.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially if we're going to a cashless society, right? Do you read those articles that we're going to a cashless?
I saw it, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, you guys don't deal with cash, right? It's
No.
it's all digital in the end.
Correct.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to move towards that?
It's happened. It's practically happened. I was sort of surprised that,
I'm surprised people are
obviously,
surprised.
Yeah, it sort of shocks me. We're practically there now.
Yeah.
There's already been massive rules put in place about the way cash can be only paid below a certain amount. You can't pay for cash if it's above a certain amount.
Yeah.
Already, that's been law for a while. We're definitely moving in that direction, and I'm very interested to see what the next innovation is after Afterpay, because that was a biggie.
That's a massive one.
That was a big boy.
I think they are upstairs in this building.
No, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Nick?
I don't know.
Nick Molnar?
No, I don't think he's. I think one of their offices. They might have the
gotcha.
different offices in this building.
I'm with it.
Yeah. But we can go scout them.
Yeah,
Knock at their door. Hey,
Fanboy 'em?
we're after you guys next, man. We've got the next thing coming. No, actually, I actually think that you visited China, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Twice.
And recent or?
Nah. First time was to go to this automated kiosk exhibition in China. And then the second time,
China.
and the second time was to do furniture shopping.
Okay.
Because I was trying to start a co-working space.
Oh, you try. Oh, you. Oh, right.
Shout out WeWork.
Did that work?
Nah, I never started it. No,
okay.
It flopped. I ended up actually buying I was actually also going to start my own brand of appliances to rent out. It was back in the rent instead days. So I was going to, instead of renting out, whatever brand, I was going to rent out my own brand of fridges and, TVs and shit, but I never ended up.
Where do these inspirations and these ideas come from? There's a lot of people that ask, where do you get what should I do for my next business? Right. So where does your inspirations come from?
So the first thing I'd say is the idea is just worth 1%, right? Everyone's got an idea, right? There's no shortage of ideas. If you're struggling to find an idea, that's a problem within itself. There's so many ideas out there. Everyone thought of Uber before Uber existed, right? But no one executed it. 99% of the effort is all about execution. So it was more so, the hard part's not finding an idea. The hard part is executing it.
And that's what you're good at.
Right.
Yeah. Well, what's what you enjoy?
It's correct. It's the only thing that I've always been, like I said, I'm very scrappy.
Yeah.
Right. I just go and fall forward, fall on your face, but progress. So it was just like, hey, I've got an idea. Okay, what's the list of things that I need to do? No procrastination. Let's go. Let's go. So that's all. That's how I ended up in China. As inspiration, what inspired me with that business idea is WeWork. I was like, shit, co-working spaces are popping. Maybe I should follow the trend. And what did Jeff Bezos do? What inspired him to start his internet business? He looked at an article and saw the internet was booming at thousands of % a year, and he was like, okay, I want to follow that trend.
Yeah.
And so find the trend. Where's everyone moving to? What's the new next thing? And then try and find a business in there.
Right.
When there's a gold rush, sell the shovels.
I like that. Yeah, we can get that. We can get that printed out, right?
It's not my quote.
No?
So whoever...
Well, I heard it first from you, man, so you can have it.
It can be like the quote, and then who said it, and then Bishara underneath.
No, what we do is, turn it in. Do you remember turn it in?
No.
Nah, okay, uni.
What is it?
At uni, you have to submit it through the plagiarism thing.
Yeah.
So we just change one word or something like that, and then they won't know the difference,
Chat
right?
GPT it right now. That's what you have to do these days.
It's so good, man.
Yeah.
Going back to China, though, they cashless, man. Even probably back then when you went, they were already probably phasing out cash by then. It's nuts now. I remember, and I've said this story before on this podcast, so whoever's listening, my bad. Or actually, no, enjoy. So when I went to China, I saw this homeless guy there, and I felt kind of bad for him, but I didn't have cash for me. And so he kind of looked at me. He's like, this guy wants to give me money, but I know he doesn't have cash. So what he did is he pulled out his pulled a smartphone, and he showed me his QR code.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, you can give me money
WeChat?
through here." Yeah. He gave me money through here. I thought, man, that's so freaking ingenious. I got to give you money for that. That's a great idea.
You know, I had that idea for here, because how many times do you want to give money to someone, but you just don't have any cash on you? Like,
Yeah.
there's a beggar and you can't give them money.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there should be a government program, a government-funded program. If someone steals this idea, I'm going to sue you. So
You got a couple of months before I release this one, then.
So there should be a government-funded program that gives every person that's going through financial hardship, struggling, homelessness, that sort of stuff, some way exactly like that Chinese man had, a QR code, FPOS terminal, a little square, whatever it is, to be able to take payments and, you know, put them in the banking system again, because no one carries cash.
I think Australia's a great place to actually start that, because we have a mateship kind of country. I mean, how much of that is now, I don't know. But I still think that as Aussies, you're born here. We're born here, right? We help each other. We do things together, right? That's our culture. And so when we have that, we kind of, like, you know, when some guy comes along, you know, when you're driving your car and kind of like wipes your window, you're kind of like, not really. But at the same time, I don't mind giving you like, here, take a couple bucks, right? You know, just look after yourself. Like, I don't mind that.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's the best. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
At one point, literally on George Street, I had like 4 homeless people following me. I felt like Jesus, because I was literally like, "You hungry? Yep, follow me. Yeah, you hungry? Yep." I was like, "Ah."
What'd you get them though?
Macca's.
That's the best, man. I sometimes, sometimes when you get those Macca's deals or something like that, they give you a drink. Usually I'll go across the road and I get this.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, take my Coke. What drink do you want? Do you want Fanta? No, yeah.
Bro, buy him a meal.
Yeah, buy them a meal as well.
Alright,
Yeah,
good.
look after them.
Cheapo.
I'm Chinese. What do you expect, man? We put our money in the investment, okay? Hey, if you got to meet that kid back in the Minto malls, what would you say to him to help him? And what would you do to him to help him? And what would you say to him to encourage him? Mini Bishara.
That's good. I like that question. Well, look, I was very hard on myself.
Yeah.
The amount of pressure I applied on myself was, not healthy.
Really?
Yeah.
Self-inflicted?
Oh, bro, yeah, entirely.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was the complete cause. And, it was fear of failure and fighting in the dark, like no one to support me, people literally wanting me to fail, family members wanting me to fail.
Why?
Backstories, and they initially helped me, and
okay.
And then they felt like I turned against them, and just bullshit friction. Most businesses are born from war stories, right? And so I just people anyway. Bottom line is fear of failure pushed the shit out of me, made me anxious all the time in a good way. I'm not saying like I was there's a disorder, anxiety disorder. It wasn't that. It was like, it was all I could think about. I couldn't switch off. I was always scared. I was lonely. I felt like I was a failure. I didn't want to fail. And, that was always on my mind, and I was practically depressed, it was depressing. I don't know if I had depression, but it was depressing.
Yeah.
So what I'd say to myself is, don't be so hard on yourself. Practice gentle kindness to yourself, and it's going to work out. And your desire for it is what's going to lead you to success. But just take it easy, mate. Just relax a little bit, and all will be okay. And so, if I knew I was going to be successful, I wouldn't stress or panic. Yep. It was because I didn't know I was going to be successful. Like now, for example, if hardship comes my way, if there's a business problem, and my staff are shocked. I've got a staff member that's been with me 6 years, and she's like, I expected you to blow up when I told you that. And I was just like, okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know. So, yeah. Right. Like, I don't care anymore. I know it's all going to be okay. I know we're going to handle it. We've done it 50 million times. I've got battle scars. It's done.
Yeah.
Right. But when I was there in my infancy as a virgin, business virgin, you're scared of everything and you feel like everything's going to kill you. So take it easy, bitch.
Well, I know your sister and you started your first business was a car wash, right?
Yeah, as kids. Yeah,
as kids. Did she have that entrepreneurial spirit as well?
No, she's lazy as shit.
So you dragged her along on this, right?
Hey, you want me to read you this
go for it,
funny
man.
email? This is me. This is me when I was 13.
You wrote something to yourself.
I wrote an email to my dad.
I can't wait to see this. Were you like you were now?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's always been in my blood.
You find that I'm going to ASMR the shit out of this bubble tea right
hit
now.
me, bro. Sorry, bear with me. All right, here we go. Sorry. Apologies, viewers. Okay. This is in 2008.
Okay.
Right? So how
after the
old am
GFC?
I? How am I? 13, 14, something like that? Yeah, correct. Hi, Abraham. I hope you're enjoying your trip. As you know, pupils sell lollies and food. As you might recall, I once last year sold gobstoppers, which gave me a profit of about 50 cents per sell. Obviously, this is not enough for a boy of whopping 13 years old, so I've come back with a bigger plan. Today, I bought a can of 24 cans of Coca-Cola at a price of $9.99, and I will sell them at a cheap price of $1, meaning a profit of $13.99 per pack. But I will not put the price up because there is competition, which I will soon make bankrupt. It's just been in my blood. Remember, I will not fail. I am a retailer going for gold. Competitors will beg for mercy.
My gosh.
So my dad brainwashed the shit out of me as a kid, bro. Like he used to come up to me and he'd be like, "What do you want to be when I grow up?" And when you grow up, and I'd be like, "A businessman." And he'd be like, "Yeah," and I'd be like, "Yeah."
I remember seeing my dad's work ethic because my dad used to have a restaurant as well. Yeah, so he will never come home until he's finished, and he'll have a 3 a.m. creativity boost, for the restaurant, and he'll go off and do it and stuff like that. Oh man. You inherit the stuff that your parents do.
No doubt, bro.
100%. When I heard that you used to stake out your investors as well, prior to you starting up the business, do you think your pitch was more important, or the aura or the feeling of the hunger that you showed them was more important and made them want to jump in?
Sorry, what do you mean by stake out your investors? I don't know what you mean. I don't have any investors.
Oh, no investors?
No.
No investors?
So no equity partners.
No equity partners?
No. There's no one invested in my business. That being said, I do have debt facilities through family offices now. So when I first started, I tried to get investors, right?
Right, that's what I probably,
Right. So for years and years, I was pitching this shit. Hey, I need, come on board for 15, 20%. And what I always found was they undervalued me and I overvalued myself, right? So we could never agree on a valuation, right? It was, they would pummel me with it and I'd exceed it. And I've always proved them wrong, right? Every single investor, it's like, fuck you, right? If you invested, you'd have made a lot of money by now. But every single one fell through, which was a good thing for me at the end of the day, right? Because what's the most valuable thing in business? It's equity, right? It's how much you own of it. So, I had to bootstrap this shit, for many, many years. And then luckily I met a family office based in a different state where he was willing to finance the business through debt entirely. Did that for around like 3 mil. He gave me 3 mil in debt, refinanced that, and we refinanced that again. And I'll tell you the number he refinanced me off camera.
Done. Yeah. All right, awesome. How did you pitch yourself back then, as opposed to how would you pitch yourself back like now?
Okay, so that's a good question. So one of the most important things about pitching and getting investors and, you know, dealing with anyone full stop is desperation. You don't want any desperation. You got to be willing to walk away from the deal. If you're there sucking up, coddling to the investor, they're going to, just like a girl, treat them mean, keep them keen, you know? That yes, the saying exists for a reason. It's human nature. They want a bit of FOMO, fear of missing out. It's, you know, I don't need you. Right? There has to be a bit of fuck you attitude. So that's one thing I lacked very early on, right? Like, I'd always be desperate for an investment, you know? Any question you have, yeah, whatever you need. Oh, yeah, I'm here to, blah, blah, blah. You know, that, and they see that desperation and then they go, hey, what's, you know, fuck this kid, right?
Yeah.
So be confident. Be confident. You don't need that one person. And now it's like, you know, I'm just like, no, not interested in you, not interested in you. No, you become the one with the power because you've got the leverage now. So make sure you have leverage. When you're first starting off, pitch. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah,
you know, you keep pitching. Hey, what feedback can you give me off the back of this? You know, just so I can take it. If they reject you, let's say they say no. Hey, really appreciate you turning me down. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. If you don't mind, just so you know, I'm still early in this process and I want to learn more and I want to be a better entrepreneur for the future. What are the 3 things you think I can improve on, both in my pitch and in the business, so that the next time I approach another investor, I might be better prepared? And most people, when you put that question to them, they're likely to help you, right? They'll actually be honest, right? Instead of them being like, oh, you know, it's not the right investment for us because of our mandate. No, they'll give you real feedback. So make sure you're curious to learn about how you fucked up, because that's the only way you can improve.
Well, one thing you're really good at is balancing your confidence, but also your ego as well. Like, how do people draw that line?
There's a good book called Ego is the Enemy. So what it sort of defines ego as is seeing a depiction of yourself that isn't real. It's self-deception. That's what ego is. It's deceiving yourself.
Right.
And that is the worst thing you can possibly do. Deceiving yourself is the worst thing you can possibly do. Because if you're deceiving yourself, like, you know, you're going to run into a brick wall and it's your own damn fault because you've deceived yourself. You've literally, you know, you've misguided your own ass.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, fuck that. You know, it's not about what you see in yourself. There's a difference between ego and self-confidence, right? Self-confidence is, I think, making a promise to yourself and keeping it. If you make a promise to yourself, I'm going to wake up at this time every day, and you start doing that, you start building self-confidence, believe it or not. You know, you just do. Discipline. Yeah. Discipline builds self-confidence. So that's the fine line that you got to navigate. It's like, you got to be self-confident and just don't deceive yourself, you know, be real.
Yeah. If you were to step into your 20-year school reunion, how do you want people to perceive you? Or do you really give a shit? That's hot, man. Business bubble, OnlyFans.
I send them pictures as well. Yeah, you see my feet. Your question is, how do I want my school
well, if you step into your 20-year school reunion, like what would you want? Do you actually care about what people think of you, or is there something like, hey, look, at least for myself, this is what I want to look like when I step into that?
You know what, bro? Like, not really. I don't give a fuck.
That was the answer I knew I was gonna. That's why I say he's not gonna give a shit about that.
Correct. But I do have a bone to pick with teachers. You know, there's definitely teachers that I want to go, you know,
they said you couldn't.
Correct. Some teachers, not even just dismissive. You know, there was actually one teacher, and see, this is the thing. Like, I've had many teachers say plenty of awful things to me. That looking back, it's like, mate, who are you? Like, why would you even say that to a kid to try and bring them down? Or like, you know, why are you trying to be different? What, do you think you're special? It's like, excuse me, people should think they're special. People should try and stand out. Fuck you, right? So like, you know, I have bones to pick with teachers, but for the most part, kids are kids, you know? I actually, to be honest, with regards to people from my school, I feel bad for them. And not in the sense that like, you know, oh, I'm higher than them, I'm looking down at them. It's like, I literally, put it this way. I met with a guy that I hadn't seen in years. I saw him on the Bay Run, right?
Right.
And he went to my school. Literally from kindergarten to 12, we were together. And you know what he said to me? He said, you know, this is about 7 years or 8 years after school. He goes, bro, remember during school how we always thought we'd be rich and, you know, we were always going to be successful. He literally said this to me, bro. I didn't even ask him or bring it out of him. He literally said, you know, always thought you'd be successful and, you know, we'd be successful. And, you know, now 8, 9 years later, you know, we're like, what the hell? What's happening? We're nowhere near that. And that's not just my school, you know, cohort. That's everyone, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone has these beliefs and aspirations as kids. And then they go through the schooling system and they're taught the wrong things to focus on the wrong things. And you fast forward 10, 15 years after university and you're not happy, you're stuck. You've got a mortgage, you got bills, you got a wife, you got kids, and you can't take risks. You can't do what really brings you alive, what really is your passion, and you can really pursue because you're stuck. It's like a game, bro. Life is like a game. There's levels to this shit, right?
It really is a game. If you know to play the game.
Correct.
Oh.
So most people don't even get the chance to play the game because they're too fearful to even take that initial leap. And that's most people, bro.
Yeah, actually, everyone can see the Game Boy there. You just need to pick it up, man.
That's
you
it.
Go hard at it. Okay, I'm going to play a game with you, man.
All right.
So I started this last episode, and I think this is actually kind of cool because it actually gets a bit of an insight into your head and your mindset. Yeah. All right, so it's called Why Are They Winning?
I'll fuck you up in this game, bro.
No, this is all you, man.
Oh, okay.
What's going on? Yeah. But I know you're competitive as shit, man. We're going to find something to do. We'll do a collab. We'll do like a competitive thing, man. I reckon this will go off. What do you reckon, Carl? Yeah, I reckon go off. All right.
I did that, just so everyone knows. I did the bop it thing and I did 101.
Yeah, my ass. We'll update the leaderboard. Okay, so I'm going to list a couple of companies, right? And all I want to know is, from your perspective, why are they winning? Whether they... So it's not really... You can say it again.
I like that.
Yeah? Cool.
That's
all
cool.
Right. Commonwealth Bank. Why are they winning?
Do I have to use one word or can I speak a sentence?
You can speak... You can whole spiel. You can talk about half an hour.
Yeah, man. Okay, so CBA is the most tech-savvy and has the best user experience.
Yeah.
The app is second to none.
Yep.
And I think that is what makes them the best. It's their user experience. They've got the best customer service. They're the number one in the game, bro. From the app, from customer service, all that shit, they're the best. That's why they're the best.
Awesome. Cool. Nike?
Branding. You know, their Nike deal with Jordan is really what put them on the map, right?
You saw Air, right?
Yeah. Oh no, I haven't actually.
Oh, okay.
I haven't. But I've read the book Shoe Dog.
Oh yes.
Which is a gangster book.
Yeah.
Recommend that book. What's the initial question about Nike? What makes them so special?
Well, yeah. Why are they winning?
Yeah. Branding. They align themselves with the biggest celebrities in sports people. That you aspire to be like that sports person, and then you're no longer identifying with the brand, but you're identifying with the celebrity and the brand, and so that sort of elevates their image. So I think that's why they've been so successful. It's not like their shoe's the best shoe; it's their brand. It's just a brand, bro.
What about Adidas then?
What makes them special? But I think the same reason. The same thing applies, right? It just they've aligned themselves with other people, right? Who? I don't know. So clearly not as much. But I'm pretty sure Adidas and Asics are cousins or some shit.
They're all German companies.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure they were actually cousins though.
Right.
Yeah.
So why is Nike bigger than Adidas in your opinion?
Fuck. That's a tough one. Why?
Well, why do you buy Nikes or Adidas?
Nikes.
Why?
Brand.
There you go.
Brand recognition. That's it.
Branding is so key, and I think everyone, when you thought of branding for Fundo, at least a pivot there. When you thought of branding for Fundo, how did you position that in terms of what do I want to portray to customers?
Fun, inviting, easy, quick, finance. Those are the key words, right?
You gamified it.
Right. Absolutely, 100%. Right.
Yeah.
When I first started off, I didn't think too much about branding. Now, as the business has grown, I've recognized its importance. And so, advice to any of the listeners, yes, focus on your brand. And it's a perfect example. There's actually this kid, his name's Tim Noakesmith. He started a company called Vow. And Vow is this biotech cell-based meat company that develops meat from cells, literally, from in a lab.
Yeah.
And I literally saw him on LinkedIn starting this shit, and he was like releasing his like branding, mood boards and shit. And I'm watching him being like, bro, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, why are you posting, these are the colors and the palettes that I want to relate to in the image? And he started it that way. And I was seeing it from that ground level. I'm like, bro, you're doing too much. Just get started, right? Next minute, he's got like $50 million worth of investment through an Atlassian, venture capital firm, just fucking
What did they see in it?
Right. Hey, listen, branding, bro. It's a big part. So work on the branding.
Yeah, it's true. Here's another good one. Okay, so you visited America, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Many times.
KFC Australia.
I love KFC Australia.
Right?
Yeah, fucking oath.
Right.
Wicked Wings here are nuts.
More than America, right?
I don't know about America.
I think KFC America's crap.
I would never eat at KFC in America. It's like, we have KFC. Why would I eat that? I want In-N-Out. I want, Shake Shack. I want to try something else. I want Five Guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I fucking love KFC, bro.
I find like dudes, like men, especially millennials. If you ask them McDonald's or KFC, I'll tell you 99% of them will say KFC all day.
Yeah. Look, I'm a big Macca's fan. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie to you here, Nathan.
I love my fast food. Yeah. So much for someone who's cutting, eh? But why do you think they are doing so well in Australia?
Who?
KFC, Australia.
Oh, fuck, mate. I don't know. It's fucking KFC.
Fuck this game, man.
Why is KFC doing so well? It's the secret sauce within their chicken recipe that makes them so special.
Yeah.
Nathan.
How do they position themselves in front of customers? From you as a consumer.
The chicken guys.
Fair enough. I'll take that. I think they found their market share and they've just dominated hard in it. I think they know that the millennials are millennials, Gen Zers, the areas that they find themselves in. I think they've just noted that this is a great place, universities and all that stuff, and they've just doubled down on it. We create packs, makes it really easy for people. Those combo boxes.
True.
Right? Because before it used to be, okay, you can order a la carte, 3-piece chicken here, But now you realize
they do that a lot.
They've expanded because we're lazy, right? We will pay for convenience these days. And I think that's where they go, okay, cool, I'll double down on that.
It's a good thought, bro. I
give
like
you more.
that.
I
I like this exercise.
Right?
It's good.
Right. I mean, we both are like-minded, right? So this one, okay, cool. Disney.
Why are they so good? Storytelling.
Yeah. Do you use storytelling in your branding in Fundo?
Yeah, absolutely.
How does that? How would you put storytelling into your one?
So, okay. Good question. Put me on the spot here, bro. Calling me out.
I love it.
No. Okay.
Your company, bro.
so we've got something called the Fundo credit score. So the Fundo credit score is the likelihood of you being approved for a loan. The higher your score is, the more likely you are to be approved. The lower your score is, the more likely you are to be declined. And now you've got the incentive system, right? So now you've got those yardsticks. So the story that we tell is display the right customer behavior through making payments on time and good budgeting, the higher your score will be. If you start showing negative behavior, rescheduling, dishonoring, missing payments, extending your loan, the more likely you are to be declined on your next loan. So that's the story we tell them to teach them in a very subtle, low touch point way that, if you take control of your finances, we're here to help.
Right.
We're willing to, be partners with you and help you further than what we've already helped you and give you bigger loans over a longer period of time. And if you're not showing the right customer behavior, if you're pulling out and gambling it all, well, that's going to affect your Fundo credit score with us.
Right.
And we're not going to be able to help you. So that's the story we tell them. And so that's I guess the story that we give our customers.
Have you heard of the hero's journey?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're you're not, obviously you guys are not the Luke Skywalkers. You are the Yodas. Tell me, Star Wars references.
I know Yoda.
Some. Yeah, you know Yoda.
Yeah,
you know Luke
I
is.
know Yoda.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What
did I just do there?
that was Yoda never did that.
No, but what did I do?
The Force, right? Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Jedi
These are not
mind
the
trick.
drawers. Yeah. These are not the droids you're looking for. What?
These are not the draws you're looking for.
There's-
It's droids.
It's droids. I said I fixed myself up. Okay. I had a pastor on this podcast one time.
pastor?
I had a pastor.
Lasagnas too?
You wish, man. Yeah. Pasta. Jesus-shaped pasta.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And he goes, and he's Asian as well, born here. And I actually reckon when you grow up with a second language in your belt, like, do you speak Arabic at home sometimes? Yeah. My grammar fucks up sometimes, right? Even though I'm born here. As in, I always put grammatical mistakes in my speech, even though I'm born here. Because I think my head is always flipping between the two languages sometimes.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah. Do you find that? Do you get that?
No, I'm not. But I'm not that good at Arabic. So you must be more fluent in Chinese than me.
I guess
or
so.
Mandarin. Like, can you speak fluently?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So that's the difference.
All
Like,
right.
I can get by.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But it's not native to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, these are not the draws you're looking for then. Yeah.
Is that the point you were making?
No, not really.
That
No,
was
not
the
really.
point you were
No.
making.
No. So the hero's journey, so when you're talking about storytelling,
Yeah.
right? Businesses usually position themselves as either the hero of the story or they are the Yoda or the Obi-Wan,
Got you.
the help of the story.
Got you.
So I'm assuming from your perspective,
We're the help.
You're the help.
100%.
So you're, okay. So,
Customers are the heroes.
right. Coca-Cola?
What makes them successful?
Yeah, why? They're winning.
Logistics, baby.
You reckon?
Mate, you go to somewhere in Iraq, in like the fucking dungeons.
Yeah.
There's a Coke shelf there. They're everywhere. That's what they did. They just like flooded the world with it.
Their marketing is on point though.
Cocaine helped initially.
Of course. It's like your investors, right? In the beginning of a business.
Yeah.
Right? You need the investors, or you don't have to, but you can have the investors that get you that head start. But how you go from there, it's completely up to you. I think their storytelling is on point.
Yeah.
You never see an ad of Coke in their factory putting together Coke, right?
True.
It's always
The feeling you get.
the feel.
But you know what the other thing about Coke is it's just such a fucking great product. I mean,
is a really-
shit. When you just open that Coke can and you have that first gulp, I mean, shit. It deserves to be everywhere.
And note, people, that Coke is not paying us for this right now. All right, here we go. This is a controversial company, Fundo. Why are they winning?
Why are we winning? Wow, I like that. Okay, fuck yeah. Why is Fundo winning? Because we put the customers first. It's as simple as that. Like that, and I said it literally earlier.
Yeah.
The personal relationships, I built my business based on personal relationships. Every customer could speak to me on the phone, right? Now the business is too big. We get like literally 1,500 applications a day. There's no chance everyone can know every single person, right?
Yeah.
That being said, the scripts, the way we approach customers, the way we approach when they're venting, when they're communicating with us is we always make sure they feel like they're family. That's our first Fundo value. Customers are Fundo family. And so we treat them, we want to make sure every single phone call that occurs, I'd be happy if my mum was calling.
Right.
If my mum was speaking to them, is she being treated the way I want her to be treated?
Yeah, gotcha.
And so, that is so important. Plus user experience. I think UI UX is something that a lot of the lenders miss, and they got a shitty experience. It works, sure, great, but I really honed in on a beautiful gamified UI UX. So that's what makes us special.
I like that. You're a big fan of chess, right?
I am.
Yeah. How do you know? How does how's your passion in chess help you like craft decisions, moving your business forward?
Ooh. It's all about strategy at the end of the day, right? Like that's what chess is. It's about seeing 3 or 4 steps ahead, and outmaneuvering your opponent. In this case, the opponent is really just the market, right? The opponent's the market.
Yep.
Like, okay, what do I need to do to be successful? Or if something comes, if some sort of reform comes through, it's like, okay, how are we going to handle it? If COVID hits, a black swan event hits, like how are we going to manage that? So, it's all about seeing what's going to come. Like, Bill Gates literally tanked the Microsoft stock in the 90s because a memo leaked and the title of the memo was all the things that could kill Microsoft. So, he's just thinking of all the possible things that could go wrong and then addressing them. And that's what business is. That's what chess is about. It's about seeing what can happen and planning ahead for it. So make sure that you're being strategic about the way you move.
But then it goes back to what you also said as well earlier, because you mentioned that you strategize long term as well, but then you're always able to pivot, right? Just
move. You'll learn on the run. Learn on the run because everyone's got a plan till they get punched in the face. Mike Tyson, right? And I had it in one of my videos that I put up, which is like, okay, you might think in business your problem is I don't have enough leads, right? That might be your problem, right? You say that's your problem. Okay, sure. Then you pick up the phone and you call the one lead you've got and you absolutely shit the bed with the phone call. Well, now you recognize your problem is you don't have enough leads. Your problem is you don't know how to speak to them when you do get them on the phone. Okay. So, but you'll only learn that if you actually start executing. If you're like, no, I need to have enough leads. That's the problem.
Yes.
And you never solve the real problem, which is not knowing what to do with them once you get them.
Yeah.
So, that's why I say just start and you'll learn as you go.
I love that. Yeah. But then there's one time that you wrote on your Twitter or your X, there's no greater motivator than disrespect. What the hell happened, bro, during that time? Was it family?
No. So there's actually a very specific person I was writing that about, and I'm happy to share it. So
you're pumped, mate.
So there's nothing worse than pitching to an investor, and that's what it was. It was pitching to an investor, and bro, the investor, it went really well. It was going really well, and then he referred me to his son. His son came in from the States, and he was like, "Yeah, deal with my son," and shit started falling apart with the son. Once the son got involved, shit started falling apart, right? And I once went to a meeting, and I'm explaining how I pivoted from one business to the next, from Rent Instead to Fundo. And bro, they just started having a laugh at my expense, bro. Like literally, he was like, "Why'd you stop Rent Instead?" And I'm like, "Look, we got rid of the logistical headache and the warranty issues, and we pivoted to a more scalable business." And he was like, "It's probably because Rent Instead failed." And they were like, started having a laugh at my expense. And I left that meeting literally shaking,
with anger. Or?
Yeah. Like just like I was fucking, I don't know what it was. I don't know what I was feeling. I was like, I should have said this, and I said that, and obviously,
Yeah.
But what was it? They were being disrespectful, right? Like they were calling me a liar practically to my face. And so, they're now my greatest motivator. Whenever I want to tap into that hunger, that desire, it's like, yeah, okay, all right, let's go. And then, I find out that he now knows that, Fundo was the 5th fastest growing company in all of Australia.
Respect.
According to the AFR last year, because my friend told him. It's like, yeah, fuck yeah, like sucked in. You were trying to invest in my business when I was valuing it at fucking 1 million. Yeah. And now I'm like 70 times that size.
That's
you. So that's what I meant by that quote.
So early on, you're driven by helping mum and finances and stuff like that. Do you find that hate drives you more, or the rejection of?
No. Like, listen, the reason I started the business was for my mum. Yes. And there's no better feeling than helping your family.
100%, man.
Bro, I've literally got my mum on the payroll. I've got my 2 sisters on the payroll.
That's so sweet.
And I love it. That's why I started it.
Yeah.
That's literally why I started it. So, I think you can use multiple things as the motivations. It doesn't mean you have to have just the one thing. It's not like, oh, is it just like because you want to help your family? No, like, you can want to help your family and you want to be successful and you want to prove people wrong. And you can always tap into different sources of energy. Correct. 100%. You stack that shit.
Yeah.
It all becomes this one innate desire and drive that pushes you forward.
Yeah.
But most people don't even have that. That's the issue. I was lucky, so...
Yeah.
And it's usually bred from hardship. So the hardship, and I was mentioning this off camera, was really privileged upbringing. Extremely grateful. But then from year 11 to year 12, and then 2 years after school, parents going through a divorce. I wasn't speaking to my dad. He kind of cut us off from everything financially, and my mum was panicking and doesn't know shit about money, and didn't have any, and was borrowing from family members, and was always conscious and scared of money. So I saw that life. And then I saw, the complete opposite end dichotomy of the spectrum where, I was like, holy shit, money's really important. I didn't realize till now. So, that's why I wanted to start the business to help my mum initially, right? It was just like, I want to help her. And now I do, now she doesn't have to do shit.
How good does that feel, though?
It's the best.
Oh,
there's no better feeling.
There's no better feeling, man. You buy mum house or something like that?
No, I haven't bought her a house. But bro, I might as well have fucking bought her a house with the amount of shit the amount of fucking business class tickets I've purchased for her. I might as well have been a house.
How does she view has her view of you changed because you're helping her out now?
Yeah. So initially when I quit and dropped out of uni, I made her cry, and she was pretty fucking disappointed, bro.
I'd assume so.
Yeah.
Lebanese Asian families, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Like they value go to uni, get a good job, and all that stuff,
100%. Right? But you can't really fuck around when you're like, you've got all these staff, and you're dealing with big business now. It's like she recognizes it. She's like, okay. She's like, yeah, mad.
Good job, Brad. Good job.
She's proud of me.
Yeah,
now, But there was definitely years where she wasn't.
Yeah.
And she wished I'd just get a job, and work my way up the bank. And I use that as fuel. I'm going to prove my mum wrong. I literally use that as fuel. I also I want to help my mum as fuel. But now it's like, it's pretty clear. I made the right decision.
Bro, you got enough fuel that you can solve our petrol crisis here, man. it's good shit.
Explode the car.
That's Evie's going to come get you, man. Hey, I got 2 quick questions about mortgages. All right. So at this current moment, what's your view on the younger generation and purchasing mortgages, like in this current state, in this current environment? Is it getting harder? Should they?
Well, it is getting harder factually. There's no doubt that income to housing prices, is the differential between the two has never been higher.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah.
That being said, you just zoom out at the property market. Just zoom out. And it's literally like this. It's constantly going up. It's never not gone up in Australia.
Yeah.
Yes, there's dips. Yes, there's turns. But you just zoom out and it's always going up. So my advice would be get in the property market as fast as possible, whenever possible. Just get in and hold. The only risk in property is you can't service the loan. That's the only risk. If you can service the loan, you can hold that shit for forever. And there is no doubt it's going to appreciate, and it's going to be leveraged appreciation because you've only put down 20% of the true value that's actually going up. So that's why I love property.
Do people come to you needing to pay their home loan, so they borrow money from you?
No.
So you won't let that?
Auto decline, bro. Auto decline. Now, if you're behind on your mortgage payments, how are you going to afford anything else? You can't afford the most essential thing.
Yeah.
No way.
Now you got me curious. Of the 1,000 to 1,500 applications you get a day, what percentage gets approved?
Oh, what percentage gets approved? About 15%.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, 15% approval rate.
Yeah.
So we decline a lot.
Oh, okay. That's security for your business as well, man. Yeah. All right, last one. Should the Chinese be buying more mortgages here in Australia?
Hey, I like it, bro. Because I'm in the property market.
Yeah.
If you own property, you want shit to appreciate.
Of course, man.
Right? You want inflation. Trump literally says it. He's like, I love inflation, right? Because it increases assets.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm in the property market. So
Yeah.
it's like, great. Okay, yeah, increase the assets. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm the everyday Australian also wants to be in property, and there has to be rules around Because China, if China's investing in property, not Chinese people, like
China,
there's
the
a
country,
difference.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
a difference,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Because if it's like, hey, there's mandates by China where they can't take their money out, so everyone's trying to move their money out and
Yeah.
like just dump it in shit. Well, that'll fuck up, the people that live here, which
Yeah.
is obviously a priority than
Yeah.
other people's money overseas.
Yeah, yeah.
So, there has to be rules. Like, look at DeSantis in America, in Florida, he literally banned foreigners buying land.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a balance. Whatever that balance is, I don't know. I'm not a politician. I don't know enough about the economy to give a clear-cut answer. That being said, it is something that we should worry about, and it is something that should be addressed. But, the differential between the rich and the poor is being exacerbated. It's growing. And for the younger generation, which is, to bring it back to the initial point you said, which is the millennials, etc., just go after the money. How do you increase your income? The best way to save for a house is to increase your income. It's not about saving. It's not about cutting out the smashed ovos. It's about increasing the amount you're getting paid. It's job hopping. It's working for 2 years, upskilling, then leveraging it into the next job, and upskilling and leveraging it into the next job, and looking for opportunities to earn a piece of it. How do you get on commission? How do you start earning the big bucks? How can your salary be performance based if you're a high performer? But you got to be special. This is for the 5% or the 1% that are listening to this going, hey, I am special. I do have something within me and I know I can take it to the next level. Well, then just go do it. Give yourself permission to go and take your shit to the next level so you can start earning a lot of money, so you can get in the property market.
The listeners are the niche, man. Yeah. Hey, are you good at keeping a straight face?
Yeah, very.
Really? Okay, cool. I heard you're a big fan of dad jokes, eh?
I am.
Yeah? All right, I'm going to rattle off a couple.
And I got to keep a straight face?
Straight face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Piece of cake.
As soon as you laugh, you're gone.
Pleasure. But you can't laugh.
What do you mean, man?
All right, fine. I'm going to do my poker face. This is what I do when I play poker.
All right, cool. Okay. My wife is really mad at the fact that I have no sense of direction. So I packed up my stuff and right.
I don't even get it. No sense of direction. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
It's just the beginning, man. All right. Okay. What do you call someone with no body and no nose?
Nobody knows.
Oh, good one, Araka.
Was that right?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it.
If this is shit, we're going to scrap it. This is not going to be in there. What's the least spoken language in the world? Sign language.
Good shit.
All right. My dog used to chase people on a bike. You know what I did to stop him? I took his bike away.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I feel like this is like? I feel like this is like, what's that the celebrities do where they insult each other?
Yeah.
You know where they insult each other?
I've never done this. I just
With
know that
Will
you like
Ferrell?
dog jokes. Dad jokes.
I love dog jokes.
I love dog jokes too, man. Are you a dog guy or a cat guy?
I'm a big pussycat guy.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Just one or?
Nah, I love all pussycats.
That's great. Fantastic. You like to stroke them. You like to, yeah, cool.
Don't make it weird.
No,
You were making it weird just now.
No, I'm a dog person. Straight up.
All right.
Stroke
away.
What do you call a small mother? Oh, fuck.
What?
A minimum. A minimum. All right. I'm giving away my chimney for free. You could say it's on the house. All right.
I hate this. No, okay.
I went on a date recently, but she said I had too many red flags. And I said to her, I can't help if I love my country.
Which flag? China? Is that a China joke? Is that a CCP joke?
That's an Asian joke.
God.
All right, last one.
That's
all right, straight face.
CCP shit.
I started a nightclub for guys with erectile dysfunction. Mm-hmm. It was a total flop and nobody came.
I'm glad you finished with a bang, bro. That's a good one. That's a good one. Round of applause.
Bro, I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you.
Oh, this is good shit. Thanks,
Cheers.
man. I appreciate it.
Lovely
Thanks
to
very
meet
much.
you, bro.
All right.